Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In today's video, I would be sharing my very first CGL mains experience. How was my overall experience and what all mistakes I have made in this particular attempt and what are the learnings I had from this particular attempt. So starting with the video, before I start, I would like to share my prelim score. In prelims, I was scoring around 138 and the cutoff was around 136 for the UR. Now, if I talk about the mains examination, so mains usually consists of three sections, starting with the very first, that section A. It consists of maths and reasoning. And you have this freedom to start with any section and you can go from one section to another also. If I talk about the mathematics part, so yeah, mathematics, if I have to give an overview what was the difficulty level of mathematics, so I would say it was from moderate to difficult. It was not really easy because firstly because of the time pressure, and secondly the questions were taking time to the question were taking a lot time, right? They were not easily solvable because many of the questions that were there in the paper of mathematics, they were from the geometry sections. For example, prism and pyramid. After that, few questions were from statistics and probability also. So overall, I would say the paper of mathematics was moderate to tough. Right. Now moving forward to reasoning part. So reasoning is reasoning. If I have to tell how was reasoning, so I would say reasoning was easy. It was not very difficult because the question was easily doable. Secondly, one could have easily solved around if 25 to 30 questions. There were few questions which were difficult for exam. I wouldn't say difficult, but yes, they were definitely tricky. For example, the counting of figures. In such kind of questions, students usually overcount or undercount, and that what makes it a little tricky. Overall, this particular section was good. Now, if I move forward with the second section, that is section B, which consists of English and GS. If I talk about English, and if I have to compare it with other exams, for example, FCAT and CDS, so I would say English of SSC CGL this time was easier as compared to these exams because there were questions from grammar section, there were one or two questions from vocabulary, and most important was the reading comprehension. So there were three RCs in this particular um, section of English, and I would say they were doable. Like for many students who were there in the examination halls also, they have been saying that reading comprehension was tough. But if I have to give my personal take on that, I would say they were easy. The very first reason was they were not that lengthy. Right? They were short paras which one could have easily read. Right? The only issue was with few questions of reading comprehension where the options were very close, and that what makes it tricky. Now coming forward, so if I have to tell how was English, so I would like to keep it in the easier category. Now coming towards the GS part, so yeah, GS was moderate. It was of good level. Right? A few questions. One question was from the 2024 Paris Olympic also. It was a statement question. So yeah, there were questions which the question that are being asked in the CDS, like the statement based, how many statements are correct, right? Statement one or statement two or both. Such kind of questions were there. So it was the GS level was really good. Right? Now if I move forward with the last section, that's the computer science section. Yeah. So over here, this was one such section which was difficult, and especially difficult for those who are from the non-CS background. They are not from the computer science background. For them, it was really difficult because the question that were being asked, they were from the core computer science that is being taught in graduation level, for example in BTech or in BSc. And one such subject chapter was the networking chapter, which is not taught in school level, right? So there were certain questions from these sections, and which made computer science section overall tricky and difficult. Now, if I have to tell what all mistakes I made, the very first mistake was that I started my exam with mathematics section, which was one of the biggest blunder that I made. I should have started with the reasoning. I should have solved easier question first, and then I should have gone for the tough questions, right? And second mistake that I made was that I devoted much more time on few questions, few lengthy questions. and this costed me a lot because due to this particular thing I had less time to do reasoning questions. Well, I tried to do more and more questions in the reasoning section, but when it comes to mathematics I haven't done much questions. So yeah, this is going to create a very big difference. Overall, if I talk about the English part, so yeah, English I have tried to do all the questions. In GS also I have tried to do as much as questions, but I've also tried to bring accuracy in the GS section. And even in overall paper I've tried to bring more and more accuracy instead of solving randomly or marking the answer randomly. I played to bring more accuracy. Computer science also I have tried to do around 18 question out of 20. So yeah, what are the learnings that I had from this particular section? The very first learning was that a person who is preparing for SSC CGL, he has to improvise on mathematics part. Like mathematics is one such subject which will create a difference. Right? There are three subjects one has to like have a good hold. For example, maths, reasoning, and English. These three subjects are very scoring, so one has to have a good hold. Right? GS is one such subject which is really unpredictable because the syllabus is very vast, and we don't know what kind of question can be asked. So yes, beside that, these three sections are going to create a difference, and I will focus more on mathematics from a next attempt because it will help me to improvise my score not just in mains but also in prelims, right? Yeah, that is all from this particular video. If you have any kind of feedback, do let me know in the comment section. And if you have given the mains examination this time, do share your experience in the comment section. And also, what is your expected score in this particular CGL mains? But then stay safe, stay secure, and have a nice day. Thank you.